Now this is, we've discussed previously that human error is all around us. Business processes, depending upon the process you choose, produces a range of outcomes. Some outcomes are going to be bad, some will be good. And this is what this is basically saying. Across the life cycle between projects, designing, procurement, stores management, installation, operating the plant and then maintaining the plant, things go wrong at every single one of these processes. And these, this black section here with the dots is an indication that defects and errors happen all the time. And these errors flow through into the operating plant because these mistakes and misunderstandings and misassumptions are in our business. Every now and again, those opportunities that they have created result in a breakdown. And some surveys were done back in the 90s on what that sort of ratio that actually is. So I want to bring this up because it's interesting to see. This was done back, I think, by DuPont, I believe, and they had a look at the frequency of failures and the way these failures arose. And this particular figure here, or these pyramids, what it's saying is, in this operation, in this plant, for every 20,000 defects, these errors, mistakes, misunderstandings, wrong selections, whatever the case is, lead to 6,500 repairs. So these defects cause us maintenance. Of these defects, 10 can lead to serious business losses, major financial costs above and beyond what we never want to see in a business. Some of those will lead eventually to possibly a death or a serious maiming of people. The whole point being is not every mistake, not every error becomes a repairable outcome. About, if this ratio is right, around about 1/3 of the errors turn into some sort of maintenance cost and some sort of maintenance outcome. My understanding is from my business, my work in industry and my work in maintenance, that I know people make mistakes. Not every mistake becomes a breakdown, but they are sitting there waiting for the opportunity to arise. So in terms of risk, these 20,000 defects, though not all will become a problem, they are always there to become a problem. And it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but in a year's time, these defects begin to show their evidence and become problems for us. So that human error rate table, that error rate was very, very high in maintenance, but it doesn't mean all the errors that will happen are going to become failures. Some will, about 1/3 will, but the remaining 2/3 are going to sit there forevermore, and the day might come when the other 2/3 become problems as well for us. So that's basically what this chart is saying, what this slide is saying, is that in here, errors are always happening, where they're being fed from our processes, from our people. They're residing in our businesses, just waiting for the opportunity to either become a breakdown and to be fixed, and sometimes a severe financial loss of life and of business opportunities. And that's the life cycle. Mistakes are fed in by engineers, by operators, by maintainers, by finance people, by managers, by supervisors. These are all coming in all the time from all over the place in the company, and we want to stop all that. We want to cut that right down to the least number of errors possible. So I come back to my story of Boeing. How did Boeing do that? How did Airbus do that? There's only one way to run a plane and to maintain a plane. So I don't want to have 100,000 different ways to maintain a plane. Same with the plant equipment in every other business. I can't have 100 technicians and each person maintains that pump 100 different ways, because 100 different ways will give me plenty of errors. I can't control 100 different ways to create errors. So I've got to have one way only that this machine is maintained. One way only to operate the machine. So now that one way, I can find where the mistakes are in that one way and improve that one way continuously until fewer and fewer chances of error arise. But if I have 100 ways to run a machine, I can't control 100 ways. And I'll have forevermore troubles that just sit there and keep coming back year after year, decade after decade. And that's why I think we're still where we are today as we were 50 years ago. Machines that are not reliable, businesses that fail because they can't supply customers with the quality product on time they need, because the problems have never gone away. So Planet Equipment Wellness is about understanding where the errors can come from and building a system to prevent that, to recognise them, to protect against them, and then just have one way that the one best way. And we've got to find the best way through our learnings and through our people's input. Because I won't know it right. I'll never get it right perfectly myself, but I know as a team, as a group of guys that have different perspective on things and know different things, as a team, hey, now we can add some value on this one way, keep improving that one way. So the pyramid tells us what happens in businesses. It doesn't give us an answer, but it does indicate what we've got to start focusing on. If we reduce the number of defects, then the opportunities are not there. And in our risk equation, opportunity is part of that equation. So the fewer the opportunities, the lower the operating risk. The lower the risk, the higher the reliability will result, because there are fewer things to go wrong, and then a machine runs for longer without problems, which is improving reliability.